Hello. A lot of people say lower your car. I say opposite. You need to raise it. Welcome back. Another episode of Fabtown. Today we got David's SR8086 in the shop, and we're going to be building a T3 top mount turbo manifold for it. Shouldn't take us very long. David and me are going to get the flange positioning where we want it as I kick the turbo over. We're thinking that it's going to need to sit somewhere around in there. We're going to use this piece of rod and tack it to the top of the flange, and then tack it to the turbo flange, and then that's going to allow us to kind of get a general idea of where we want this thing to sit. Take that off, put it on the free head that we have over somewhere over there, and then make a jig off of that. Shouldn't take us very long. Like I said, we are using cleaned up flanges, so not ideal, but hopefully everything works. It all looks pretty flat. We set it on a piece of machined aluminum and it sits pretty flat on there, so I think we're going to be all right. So let's get this thing tacked up. Okay, one tacked there. It looks pretty good. This is going to have more clearance when the motor is lifted up in the back. But I went ahead and made the collector for it, which is just a basic 4-into-1 collector, as you can see right here. So we need to go ahead and pop a hole in the side of this so that we can put a wastegate port on it, because even though it would be sick to see how much boost a eBay turbo will hold, I don't think we want to risk it. So let's get this cut, and then we'll weld in a port on the side of it for a wastegate of some kind. I don't know if he has plans for which gate he's going to run, but we'll figure it out. So. And just like that, hole. I did go a little too deep on this one, so it kind of left a slight remainder, but that's okay because we can get in here and die grind that out and make it all smooth again and happy. Now I am going to have to go through and clean this up, and at this point you'll be able to notice that this is actually a T3 divided flange. Now that's not necessarily a huge deal, because what we're going to do is we're going to cut this out and then possibly throw it back in the mill and just mill the faces flat. We could also cut it out with a cutoff wheel and just die grind it to make it flat to match a normal T3 flange. That's the only benefit to maybe ordering one or the other. If you order the divided, you could definitely make a T3 just normal. But we did this because, for the sake of time, we don't want to wait for another one to show up. Now that that's cut, like I said, I'm going to die grind it, get it all cleaned up, and then we'll add the wastegate port. On this one, I may just use a piece of mild steel, because I know that this is for a friend and not for like a critical customer. But these DOM pieces fit perfectly in here and will work just as well as a piece of stainless. And if we're going to run a smaller gate, like a 38mm gate, then that'll work great. So let me get this cleaned up and then we'll go from there. Okay, so this is all cleaned up now. I went ahead and grabbed this piece of DOM that I'm going to use as the wastegate port. Now again, this is mild steel, and you may be wondering why I'm mixing mild and stainless. It's because I've already mixed it. This is a mild steel flange. It's pretty standard in the industry to use these. Other than stainless, they're a little less prone to warpage. So it's a mild steel flange, stainless runner, and then we're going to use a DOM piece of tubing. I'm going to go ahead and back purge this out and then weld this DOM to the stainless using 309 and making sure that I keep the temperature low. I went ahead and got these new Alpha TIG plugs. Apparently they're only rated to 600 degrees, and I must weld really hot because I already cooked one. So I'm going to go ahead and get this purged out, set you guys up on the time lapse, and weld this thing out. Okay, so I went ahead and made this bracket. Obviously you saw this in the last shot where I got this welded up. I cut it off right here. Let's see, let's zoom out a little bit. I cut it off right here, and then I die grinded the inside and got it all clearanced. It still needs more work. I took this piece of plate that randomly had 2 perfectly located screws, and then I bolted that to the head. Then took this piece of angle, welded it to the flange that was on here originally for the ones where we had the rods coming off it. Cut the rods off, and then got this completely sturdy and fitted. Started working on the runners while my phone was charging. This runner is typical Nissan pain in the ass, where the collector, the ideal collector position is too close to the head, and so I had to sacrifice one of these 90s and cut it off real short. We used to have to do this on the old RB style. The newer manifolds that I build for RB stuff are a little different. They don't use kind of one-off bends like this. They only use 90s and 45s. But in this case, because we're not building a ton of these at the moment, this will be fine. So we cut this off here. Now it fits below the collector, and then it's just a 90, 45, 90, perfectly matches up with the collectors. I'm gonna go ahead and keep working from here over. I'm gonna work on this number 1 runner first, and then I'll progress to the back. I'm gonna set you guys up on the time lapse stand so that, yeah, you can actually watch me do some of this process. Well, that is not an SR. Alright guys, so I went ahead and wrapped up that SR manifold. I only had a job and get it done because David needed his car out of here, and me stopping and filming was starting to slow me down. So anyways, went ahead and got that done. I'll just put a picture of it completed right here. And then, yeah, so we'll have more videos on that to come. But today's a big day, and this is how I'm going to do the videos from now on. If I don't finish it, I'm just going to roll them over into the next day. So it is the next day, and some key stuff is here for this. Mainly a new bell housing, because ours is split into 2 pieces. So that's good. We got that all squared away. I also actually got a clutch in town, which is super random. I keep having these random experiences where I get stuff in town or locally that I should never be able to get here. But I got a clutch in town for super cheap, and that's good because I'm pretty broke. And we're gonna go ahead and throw this back in there. Now, if you remember, I grabbed the input shaft last time and I thought it might be bad. However, come to find out that that is actually normal. We checked the one that we have here in the shop, that's extra one, and yep, it's good to go. So we're going to be slamming that trans right back in where it came from. And I also went ahead and talked to the guy just across the street that has a drive shaft shop in his muffler shop, and he hooked me up with a drive shaft. So big shout out to Discount Muffler. Thanks guys, I really appreciate Tim over there for helping me out and getting me that drive shaft. Anyways, I really appreciate it. Thanks Tim. And now Joe's going to be stopping by, and he's going to help me push this thing next door to throw it back on their lift, because doing this trans in here on the floor is not going to happen. All right, got the JZX up on the lift. Thanks Joe. Dirty hooker ass sounds like he sucked on 2 hookers' butts at once. Now he's got a raspy voice. We're gonna throw this flywheel up on there. I ripped my glove already. I haven't even done anything. And then we're gonna press. I want to get this thing in while I have him because I'm not gonna be able to do this by myself. Wow. I would have filmed more of it, but it went literally right in. So the clutch and flywheel is like any other clutch and flywheel, and then we jiggled it a couple times, took off the trans mount. I mean, this just goes to show how nice it is to have a lift and a transmission jack, because if you do this on the ground and you're on your back, that's gonna take some fucking time. So we're gonna wrap this shit up now, I guess, and then run the lines back up to the top and put the drive shaft in, because we got brand new drive shaft, free, not free. And then, yeah, we are like super fucking close to driving this again already. That was sick. I can't believe it fucking went in like that. This is also like Joe's first manual transmission.
First one.
And it just, I mean, actually now you're ruined, because they're never gonna go in like that ever again. Yeet!
Jets, JZX90 ways to break your neck. Close enough, watch your step, slam dunk and rip the net. Chillin' on my private Laker, standing O up in my set. Michael Scott with the paper, midnight level with the threat. Militant with the beat, left, left, right, left. I don't know what you've been told, but they all fucking with the best. No more fabricating lies, 30,000 in the sky. Mach 2 to the room, I'm an A, she open wide. Sipping coffee, no cream. 120 down the street. 11,000 with the heat. Turn the fuck up, gotta melt some steel beams. Sipping coffee, no cream. I'm already too sweet. 11,000 with the heat. Turn the fuck up, watch me melt some steel beams.